Hey guys, welcome to The Finer Things. I'm Ahmad.
And I'm Nick.
In case you missed it, last week we put out an episode of our show, The Finest Things, where we took a look at the AudioQuest USB diamond cable. What are we taking a look at this week?
So this week we're really pushing the limits of dicking around and staying classy in this week's episode of TomFinery, where we take a look at Whisky and Tea.
So the other day, my friend Andrew mentioned to me the idea of brewing a cup of tea and putting some whiskey in it. And I thought, gee, that sounds pretty nifty. So me being me, I got up off the couch, like during the phone call, started up the kettle, brewed a cup of tea, and put some whiskey in. And while it wasn't bad, it wasn't really something that I felt, oh, this is going to be a staple of my cocktail repertoire. It was more along the lines of something that I feel like maybe I would make if I want to have something that is calming and tasty when I'm feeling down or ill, in that sort of scenario. But he did have a sort of follow-up idea that I thought was incredibly intriguing, which was cold brew steeping the tea bags in the whiskey, like overnight. And that was incredibly interesting to me because it gives you complete control over the dilution and the way that you're going to add the flavor to the whiskey. You have something that's so flavorful, so complex in any good whiskey, and you then have the ability to add more flavor. What could possibly go wrong?
We did, however, feel that this was potentially a massive waste of time and money. But that's never stopped us before. That's what we do, dicking around. But staying classy, now that is the finer things. And how, would you ask? Did we stay classy this time? Well, Ardbeg. We conducted 2 experiments for this, the first of which was 8 ounces of Ardbeg with the tea bag steeped in the Ardbeg for a total of 20 hours.
The second of the 2 was just 4 ounces of the Ardbeg 10, 4 ounces of filtered tap water, 2 to 3 tablespoons of honey, you can kind of play that one by ear, and the tea bag, and also steeped for 20 hours.
Our tea of choice for this was nothing special, just Twinings English breakfast tea.
And the results were overall a mixed bag.
The first experiment with just the Ardbeg and no water resulted in a flavor that was far too harsh. The tea simply made the whiskey even harsher and more brash than it already was. It wasn't undrinkable per se, but Ardbeg on its own was certainly more enjoyable.
The whiskey, water, honey plus tea experiment was a resounding success though. I wouldn't really change anything about it. The smell is delightful. It's honeyed with the lighter elements of the peatiness and the smokiness still coming through. It tastes even better than it smells, and it honestly looks pretty nice as well. I can show some photos of that.
The honey makes it. It's smooth and supple while being forward and brash at the same time. I wouldn't call it a replacement for what Ardbeg does, but that's not really the point.
It's basically just a cocktail that takes like 20 hours to make. So obviously it's something you want to plan ahead for, unless you want your dinner guests to be waiting some time. But the result is just worth it. It's delicious, strongly recommended. Please try this or some variation of this. This is one of those circumstances where I would really love to have you guys show us some of the options, have you guys show us some of the ideas. This didn't come from myself, this didn't come from Nick, this didn't come from any of the whiskey fanatics we know. This was just my buddy who's just starting to get into whiskey, who had an idea. And as soon as I heard it, it just sounded like a good one.
And guys, definitely keep your eye out for more whiskey and tea related content, because this was far too fun to just let the buck stop here. We're going to keep making more content about this.
And it's far too tasty. And because of the success of this, it really has me thinking about bourbons with fruity teas or some kind of citrus. There are so many possibilities. The possibilities truly seem endless.
Definitely. Well, hey guys, if you like what you see, give us a like. If you like what you hear, subscribe. And if you really like us, tap that bell. And also check us on social media at
Instagram, Facebook,
and Twitter. We're also on Twitter. Just keep it on the DL. It's a secret. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.
stay tipsy.
Stay classy.